Hello, Divination, and welcome. We have a 5-part mini-series for you, how to create an elegant wedding website with Divi. Throughout this tutorial, I'll be using the visual builder and you get to see me build this website step by step behind the scenes. The goal of this mini-series is to inspire you and show you the power of Divi. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let me show you how we managed to build this website. This is part 3 of our 5-part mini-series. In this video, we're going to be dedicated to creating a gift list page within our wedding website. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go onto our pages and select our page. So I'm going to click on all pages and then I'm going to come over here to our gift list page, click on edit, click on use Divi builder, and let's dive into the visual builder. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is to add a background image to this section. So I'm going to come over here to this gear icon to access my section settings. I'm going to click on background and we need to come over here to this third tab because this is the tab that allows us to add our image. So I'm going to click this plus button here to add our image, and this is the image I need for my header image. Click upload image. So now you can see my image has been uploaded. I'm going to go ahead and save for now. Next, we need to come over here to our row settings and make sure that it's full width. So I'm just going to search and I'm going to click here to make it full width. And then what I also need to do is to go into the background, click add this color, and I'm going to paste my RGB value in here like that. Back over here on the design tab, we need to make sure our gutter width is set to 1. So I'm just going to search for gutter and it's right there. I'm going to set this to 1. Next, we need to add some padding top and bottom. So come over here to spacing and add 200 pixels to the top and 200 at the bottom. And then we're going to come over here to the custom margin and then enter -50 for the top and -50 for the bottom. Okay, let's save and then let's add our text module. So I'm going to click this plus button here, click on single row, and then we're going to add our text module. So I'm going to add my text, what's on the gift list. We're going to come over here to the design tab and make sure that the text is centered. Our font is tangerine. And let's make our size 100. So we want it nice and big like that. And then let's click this icon here to set the sizes for the mobile devices. So for the tablet and smartphone, we need to set the size to 68. Text color, I'm just going to paste my color in here. And then our line height needs to be 1.5. So let's save this for now. So the next thing we need to do is to add another text module. So I'm going to come over here to expand settings. Now, the reason why I'm going to expand settings is because if you notice, if I put my mouse over here, I don't get the opportunity to add my module. So I'm going to come over here to wireframe view, and then I'm just going to click this plus button here and choose text like that. And then I can always go back into my desktop view and continue. So now I need to enter my text. So I'm going to paste it in here. So we can see that it's aligned left. So let's come over here to design and make sure that it's aligned center. So the next thing we need to do is to change the text colors. So I'm going to come here to text color and I'm going to paste my hexadecimal value. And then we're going to come over here to text font and change that to a railway light. Make sure it's bold. And we need to change the size to 20. And then over here, we need to also adjust the mobile view settings. So let's add 14 pixels for the mobile view and also for the smartphone. Excellent. Okay, so that's looking good. For the line height, let's add 1.5. And then let's go ahead and save. In our next section, we need to give people a choice to either buy something for the bride or the groom, or for both. Okay, so let's start off by adding our new section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button here, click on regular. And for this, we only need a single row. So before I insert a module, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some changes in the row settings. So add 5% margins on the top and on the bottom. So I'm just going to add my 5% there and my 5% on the bottom. Save for now. So let's add our text module and the text. So I'm just going to add my module and our text is going to say, the choice is yours. Let's come over here to design. So over here in the text, let's set it to center. The text font size needs to be 100. The font needs to be tangerine. And then I'm going to add the color. In fact, this text line height needs to be 1.7. And finally, on the text font, it needs to be set to bold. And then finally, we need to come over here to the sizing and make sure that we set 500 as the maximum. And then next we need to add some custom padding. So I'm just going to search for it here. And we need to add 3% to the top and 3% to the bottom. Let's clear this and go to the advanced tab because now it's time to add our CSS code. So we're going to come here to the advanced tab, click on custom CSS, and then we're going to paste this code in the main element. Now, if you'd like to follow along, this code can be found on our post, which I'll link in the show notes below. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay, so moving on. So now it's time to add our image module. So I'm going to click this plus and search for our image module. And then I'm going to upload an image. Click upload files. Now my file's on the desktop, so I'm just going to come over here to my desktop and it's right here. Okay, I'm going to upload an image. So I'm going to come over here to design, click on alignment, remove spaces below image. That's very important. Let's go ahead and do that. Alignment needs to be centered and then always center image on mobile. And then finally, we need to add some custom CSS. So I'm going to come over here to custom CSS. And then in the main element, I'm going to enter my CSS code. So let's go ahead and save. And then we need to add another text module. So I'm going to click this plus button here, search for our text module. So our text here, I'm going to type collective. I'm going to come over here to design and make sure it's centered. We're going to choose our font. It's going to be Railway Light. I'm going to add my color and I'm just going to paste it in here. And our size is going to be 24. So I'm just going to add 24 in there. Over here on the line height, let's set that to 1.5. Next, go to the spacing and add 30 pixels to the top. And then finally, we need to go into the advanced, click on custom CSS and add this CSS code. And then let's save. So we need to add another text module. So let's go ahead and add it. So I'm going to click this plus button here, search for our module. I'm going to paste our text and then click the design tab. So over here in the text needs to be set to Railway Light. Let's make it bold. The size needs to be set to 16. And I'm just going to paste my text color and set the text orientation to center. So the line height here needs to be set to 1.6. Okay, so let's come over here to sizing and let's set our max width to 300. Okay, so I can see we have a bit more text in here. So I'm just going to come over here and delete some. Okay, that's much better. So next, let's come over here to our design, click on spacing, and then we're going to add 5 pixels here to the top. And then finally, let's go to the advanced, click custom CSS and add this CSS code. Right, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and save. Now what we need to do next is to add a new row with 3 columns. So I'm going to click on add new, add our 3 columns. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to duplicate the image and the text module. And then we need to duplicate this one more time like that. Okay, so now that we have duplicated everything that we need, let's drag this into position. Right, so the easiest way I'm going to drag all these to our columns here, I'm going to come over here and use our shortcut. It's Command C, and then I'm going to come over here and press Command V. Now, if you're on a PC, it's Control C and Control V. So what we need to do next is to just drag this into position. So the title needs to be above the text like that. And then I'm going to do the same here. So now I'm going to swap my images. So I'm going to come over here and click gear icon, click upload, and then I'm going to upload my files. In fact, I'm going to upload both of my images and then select the one I need. So it's this one. I'm going to click upload an image. I'm going to save for now and then come over here and do the same. Upload my image. And then we just need to come over here and change the title. So let's change the titles. This one needs to be for her. And this one needs to be for him. Next, let's go into the row settings. So in the row settings, we need to add a custom margin of 5 pixels on the bottom. So let's come over here to spacing. And then on custom margin, I'm going to add 5. Click on save. Next, we're going to add an image module and upload our images. So I'm going to come over here and search for the image module. And let's go into our content and click upload. So this is the first image I need. I'm going to click upload an image. And then we need to come over here to design and make sure the alignment is set to left. So let's come over here to spacing and make sure that our custom margin is set to 5%. Next, we need to come over here to the advanced tab and add some custom CSS. So the CSS we're going to add here is going to style our image. So let me paste it here so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to paste it, and now you can see we have this in a circle. Pretty cool. So next, we're going to disable this module on phones and tablets. I'm going to go ahead now and save. Next, we're going to duplicate this image module. We're going to come over here to settings, and we're going to change that image. Right, so this is the image I need. I'm going to click upload an image. And then we're going to come over here to design and change the alignment to right, like that. So you can see that these images here are not in line. So in order for us to have these two images in the same line, we need to add a custom margin. So I'm going to add a custom margin of -230. Now, if this is too high for you, you can just adjust this and see what works for you. But because I'm using a very large screen, this is what works for me. So this number may not necessarily be -230. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is to add a background color to this section. So I'm going to come over here to section settings, click on background, click the plus button to add our background color, and I'm just going to paste it in here. So I'm going to go ahead now and save changes. Okay, so now it's time to add our new section. So I'm going to click this plus button here, click regular, single row, and then I'm going to add a background color to this section. So I'm going to come over here to the section settings, click on background, and I'm going to add my background color like that. I'm going to save this for now. So what we're going to do next is we're going to clone this text module that we created earlier on. So now instead of clicking and drag it all the way down, I am just going to cut and paste it. So to cut, I'm just going to click on Command X. If you're on a Mac, if you're on a PC, it's Control X. So these are the shortcuts that you can use when you're using the Visual Builder. Right, so I'm going to paste this. So it's Command V. And if you're on a PC, it's Control V. Okay. So next we can see that the color is off. So in order for us to change this color, we need to go into the Advanced tab and then over here on the CSS. And then we're going to come over here to the background and change this to our new background color. Finally, we are going to change this text to Wishlist, like that. And then let's go ahead and save. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add a new row. So we're going to click this plus button here. We need 3 columns. So on the first row, I'm going to proceed and add a text module. Okay, so I'm going to add my text here and we're going to call this entertainment. We're going to come over here to the design tab. Click on text. Now text orientation here needs to be set to centered. Our text color, I'm going to paste it in here. We're going to come over here to our font. This needs to be Railway Light. And we're going to make it bold. And then we're going to add, and we're going to make sure the text is set to 24 on the size. And our text line height needs to be 1.5 EMs. So come over here to the spacing and add 30 to the custom margin. Okay, so now that we've got all that set, I'm going to go ahead and save changes. So now we need to clone these. So I'm just going to do my shortcuts again. Command C, Command V, and Command V. So I'm going to change these. So for here, I need to add home and then electronics. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is to add a slider module. So I'm going to click this plus button here and search for my slider. So it's right here. I'm going to click on that. Come over here to the background and we're going to add. So we're going to go ahead and add an item. And then over here for the background, we're going to add a background image. So I'm going to click this image icon, click this plus button, and this is the image I need to add. Now, in your case, you may have a different image that you'd like to use for these categories. So you could go ahead and use whatever image that you'd like. But for now, for these demo purposes, I'll be using this guitar. So I'm going to click upload an image. I'm going to come over here to text. So for the heading text, we're going to call this guitar. So for the button text, I'm going to say view in shop. So you can see in our preview here, we're actually making some changes. And then before we add any more information, let's come over here to our advanced tab and add some CSS. So the CSS needs to go in the main element. So I'm just going to paste it in here. So over here on the link, you can add a link URL if you want, but I'm going to leave it as it is as a blank link. So let's go back and add. In fact, I'm going to duplicate these. So now I can go in and change these. So I'm going to come over here and change guitar to TV and click on back. And then on this one, I'm going to type decoration. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So over here on the elements, you can choose to either hide the arrows or you can keep the arrows. So it's all up to you. So I'm going to go ahead now and save. So next we're going to add a new row with 2 columns. So for now, I'm just going to close this. Now let's duplicate these. So I'm going to do that twice and drag these to position. Okay, so what we need to do next is to change the custom width on our row settings. So I'm going to come over here to row settings, click on design, sizing, click on use custom width, and then the unit here is pixels. So let's change that to percentage. And then we're going to make it 50%. And then on the spacing, we're going to make sure that we have 5% on the bottom margin. Like that. So I'm going to save for now. So next I'm going to clone and copy these to these 2 rows. So I'm just going to come over here and paste it, copy and paste it. And then I'm just going to drag this to the top. And then I'm going to do the same. Right, so I've got everything in place. All I need to do now is to change the titles of these. So for this one, we're going to call this for the bride. And then this one is going to be for the groom. So pretty much this is done now. We're going to save and then we're going to work on the next section, which is the contact form. Now it's time to add our contact section. So let's come over here and click this plus button here. Click regular. Now before we do anything, we're going to come over here and close this and add our background color. So I'm going to come into the settings, click background, and I'm going to add my background color. And then click save changes. So over here, we're going to add a single row. Now, for now, I'm not going to add anything in there because the element that we need is already created. So we just need to clone it. So I'm going to come over here to the top and I'm going to copy this and paste it in here. Change this text to let us know, like that. So next we're going to add a brand new row with 2 columns. So one of the columns is going to have our contact form and the other one is going to have some text. So here I'm going to search for contact, add my contact form, and now it's time to make some styling. So let's come over here to design. So form field text, we're going to change this to railway light. We're going to change this color. Then our form field font size is 18 and our line height is fine at 1.7. So for this, we need to have a border. So let's come over here to border and click on use border. Click on border color and I'm going to add my color in here. For our border width, it's 1 pixel. That's fine. And for our border radius, we're going to type in 15. So now we're having these rounded corners. Pretty cool. So next, let's come over here and style the button. So I'm going to click the button, click on Use Styles for Button. So the text size, we're going to make this 15. And the text color, I'm just going to paste it in here. So I'm going to add the button background color here. So let's come over here to the border width and let's set that to 9. And then the border color, I'm going to paste it in here. And then the border radius, we can set that to say 4. Now let's go back over here to our content and let's change the backgrounds of each of these fields. So I'm going to click on background and change the colors. Okay, I'm going to go into the email, do the same, change the background. In fact, on the first one, I have a full stop on it. That's why it didn't work. So I'm just going to remove that full stop. And now it's fine. And then finally, we're going to add our background to the message like that. Okay, so I'm going to save for now. And then next, I'm going to come over here and add our text module. So this is where you can add whatever message you need to add in here. But for now, I'm just going to add my dummy text. Next, let's go over here to design and click on sizing and make sure you add 300 to the width because we don't want this to take a lot of space. Now let's stylize our text. So I'm going to come over here into text and then we're going to change the font to Railway Light. Make it bold and 16. I'm going to add my color and our line height needs to be 1.5. And then click on the sizing, or in fact on the spacing, and then custom margin top, we need to add 5%. Okay, now that we're done with that, come over here to spacing and add a 5 pixel margin top, and then I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay, so that's all we need to do for this layout. So let's save this and do a quick preview. So I'm going to come over here to my expand settings, come over here to the right and click on save. And then we're going to exit the Visual Builder. So in the next part of the mini series, we're going to show you how to create an online guest book for your wedding and Divi auto testimonials. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do subscribe on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we post new videos similar to what you've seen today. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon.